Yeah, you do.
So what we are doing today is we are starting the boosting the Corvette process. We got the intercooler chilling right there. We got the rest of the kit chilling over here. But there are some things that we got to do to the Corvette before we go ahead and boost it. Such as what we got in this box right here, and what I got more boxes in my room. So what I gotta go ahead and do is I gotta do the head gasket. So I got the LS9 head gasket, and I got the ARP head bolts, as well as the other box that's in my room, which are the lifters and lifter trays. So we gotta go ahead and do that, make sure the internals are fine, make sure it's all good, and then we could tackle all of this. With today's project, we're gonna go ahead and get started just basically opening up the engine, making it stout. So this is either gonna go very easy or very difficult. But we gotta take the heads off, because everything that we're doing has to do with the heads being off. Yeah, we're gonna have to take the headers off. Alright, let's get into it. This should be the head gasket and the ARP head bolts. Got the head gaskets right here. LS9, this is from BTR. So this is the other box. I actually forgot that I ordered a 160 degree thermostat. And we got the lifter trays. And we got the lifters themselves in here, which they are pretty good and lubricated, or at least they were. Oh, they still are. But we're gonna go ahead and put this in some oil while we do that. That way we'll have them soaked. We'll go ahead and soak these as well.
Jonathan, what are we doing right now?
Oh, well, we got the valve covers off, we got the manifold off, we plugged up the intake valves. We're currently working on this, taking this off because this is connected to the head, which we're struggling with this bolt right here that's connected to the power steering. Once we get this off, we will have access to both heads. I mean, that one we can already take off, but this one, this is in the way. So once we get this off, take the headers off. We still got to take the headers off on both sides. We can take the heads off, and then we'll be rocking and rolling. Got all the bolts off the heads, and or at least this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the head off on this side. Then we have to take off all the head bolts on that one, and then we can take that one off as well. Then we can get started with the head gaskets. What we'll end up doing is throwing the lifters and the lifter trays in. Then we'll throw the head gaskets in. So let's go ahead and take this head off. Went ahead and took the head off. We got the whole head right there. We got the gasket off as well. We got the lifters and the lifter trays right there. I went ahead and took the 10 mil bolts out right there. And basically I'm just gonna have to take those out. And I got the LS7 lifters over there somewhere, as well as I got new lifter trays, so I'm gonna replace these as well. So they should just come out just like that. Alright, let's grab the lifters. That one is good. Alright, went ahead and cleaned out all the coolant on that side. We're going to go ahead and take the head off this side now. I took off all the bolts, and I took the bolts off the bracket. Oh, this one's harder to grab. But we got it. Just took the head off. This is what we're working with. Gasket off. Just like that. I thought the gasket was stuck on the head, but apparently not. Alright. Lifters, lifter trays, get those out. Take the coolant out right there. I'm going to try and clean up this a little bit. Alright, I kind of just went ahead and did it, but I went ahead and threw the lifters and the lifter trays in, the LS7 lifters with the brand new trays. Went ahead and put that in. I still got to put the bolts in, but I already got the lifters in, so we're good to go. I did have them soak in that oil right there, so the lifters were good and oiled up. Got to put the bolts on. Then after that, we're going to put the head gaskets on, and then after that, we got to put the ARP head studs in, and then put everything back together. I also have to figure out like with everything, like what's it torqued down to, like this, like what is that torqued down to. The ARP head studs I already know because it came with the directions, but with everything else I have to manually find out what the torque to spec is. Let's get this thing done. Alright, last update before I end up closing the hood and calling it a night. We got the heads on. I went ahead and threw the ARP bolts in as well, lubed them up with the ARP lubricant, ultra tight or ultra torque lube. So we put that on all the bolts. The bolts are ready to go. It said to just hand tighten them up here until you're ready to put the nut on, and then you'll torque it that way. So we got both heads on. Got all the bolts on as well. We got all of the ARP head studs on there. We don't have a tool or a socket for this specifically, so I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow to finish this. I really wanted to finish it tonight. If we had this tool, which is a 9/16, but a special tool, like as you can see the edges, it's not a hex, so we don't have that. But if we did, this would be done tonight, because basically all we have left to do is put the manifold back on, and then put the valve covers on, bolt everything back up here, put the belt on, put the alternator back on, put the cold air on, and we got to do the headers. So it's really not that much. It's just going to be very time consuming, I feel like. As far as everything that we got installed, we got everything that we were going to replace installed. We got the LS7 lifters, we got the upgraded lifter trays, and we got the LS9 head gaskets for boost. So we got everything in, and we are ready to go. Oh, I still got to put all of this back into the push rods and all that jazz. Gotta install that. I gotta torque everything down with this right here. Update on where we are at on the build. So we got the heads back on. I threw on the rockers, torqued them down to spec. We are now working on the alternator bracket.
It's on.
It's on?
Yeah, I just got it on.
Alright, so that's on. I just upgraded my thermostat to a 160 degree. It was in this box right here. Upgraded the thermostat, went ahead and did that. It's only like 2 bolts right there. Take that out. A little bit of coolant's gonna come out. Just replace that. You were good to go. So that's for boost. That's why we changed that. Got a 160 degree. So now that we got the bracket on, we are gonna go ahead and probably end up throwing the intake manifold on, plug everything back up, but we still have to do this. We have to put this bolt. That bolt was actually a pain in the butt to get out, as well as those 2 other bolts down there that we were working on, or she was working on. We are slowly but surely getting this thing done. So we ran into a little bit of an issue yesterday. I'll show you guys when I take it back out, but on the back of the intake manifold, right here, I guess when I tried to put it back on, it was like pushing against something back there, and it completely snapped off. So I had to buy a new one, which is what this is for. So I had to spend like $200, and I had to drive all the way to Jacksonville, pick this thing up, and now I'm gonna try to do this again. We are almost done, and it's just one thing after another. It's like the little things that just end up breaking or whatever, and it's just prolonging this job. But we got a new intake. We're gonna take everything off, fuel rails, and stick it on to the new one, and put the new one on. Then we can start hooking everything back up. Let's take this off, and I'll show you what the back of the intake looks like, and I'll show you what I snapped off. Just took off the manifold. This is the old one. As you can see, completely snapped the brake booster line. Alright, let's try this again. Round 2. So a couple hours later, ended up getting the headers on finally, and we got the other side done as well. Oh, and I got the intake manifold on. We switched the fuel rails onto the new one. I forgot to put the cover on this, but weight reduction, whatever. And we got the headers on this side as well. So last thing we have to do is basically put the belt on, hook up the intake, put the valve covers on, and then we'll do a first start with everything, with the new lifters, head gasket, and ARP head studs. Hopefully no leaks. Alright, so we're gonna take a break with this. I do, however, have to get new tires, so as you can see, we got some wires showing. I think that's about it for this one. I think this one was also the one with the nail, which is why I kept getting a flat, but we got some new tires right here. We got the other one right here. This one was really worn, so definitely use these to the absolute max. These were a really good tire. Absolutely loved them. Did what I needed them to do, but we got some new tires, so we're gonna go to the shop, mount and balance them on this, and we'll be ready for FL2K with some new tires. So let's go ahead and get them on. So this is the, oh my gosh, this is the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. Look how deep it is over here. Oh my gosh, it's flooded everywhere over here. And we're not even on the coast that it hit, we're on the opposite coast. And we got flooded. Look at all of this water. Now granted, we are on two sides of a river, so that does not help. Their whole house is flooded. We are back in the garage. We got the new shoes, we got the new tires on the wheels and everything, so they are looking good. These tires are actually taller than the ones we had on before, and the ones that we had on before was a 345 by 35 by 18. This is a 315 by 40 by 18. I believe it's 40. Let me see. Yeah, 40. So the sidewall was a little bit bigger, but it's obviously not as wide as the 345, which is a good thing, because with the 345s I was actually rubbing like right here. If I can do this, you can see some black on here. With these 315s, it actually lines up pretty good, and hopefully we don't rub. Let's check this side. It literally is like perfect, so looks good. I just had the car up on the jack stand, so it is currently like pretty high. But after I take this out for a spin, let it settle, it'll drop more. With that being said, we also wrapped up the engine. We got everything wrapped up now, so we are finally back to how it was in the beginning. We now have a new intake manifold. Everything's hooked up. We are good to go. Did an oil change, put coolant in the coolant reservoir. So we got everything ready for the first start tomorrow. Obviously, I can't do it tonight. Literally wake up every neighbor out here, and it is pretty late. So tomorrow, we will do a first start, make sure everything is good, make sure there are no leaks, make sure everything runs right, everything's hooked up. I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright, it is the next day. I went ahead and tackled a couple things. Zip tied some stuff, tightened everything down. We got some coolant in there. When the system turns on, it's gonna eat some of this coolant, so we got some more right here ready to be put in there. Gotta plug this battery in. Let me go ahead and do that now. The battery is plugged in. Got the oil catch can in. Does this need to be tightened? Yeah, it does. Let me throw a little extendy on there. And it is tight. Alrighty, now we're done. Got all the plugs plugged in. Alright, we are good to go. The belt is on. Threw that on there. Alright, let's start this thing. I'm actually really nervous, but let's go ahead and get it over with. I hope I'm not missing anything. Let me double check. Alright, here we go. So the Corvette is completely done. The car runs good, tightened everything down and hooked everything back up, and it runs just how it did before. There are no leaks, no anything like that, which I'm very happy about. But we completely did the project. Like always, guys, have a great day. Peace.